I recently was able to scale this e-commerce brand right here to over $2,769 per day in revenue, which is roughly $85,846 per month profitably. And in this video, I want to go over exactly step by step how we made it happen from the beginning so you can use this kind of approach and strategy for your own e-commerce brand. So make sure to watch this video until the end. Before we dive deep into the actual strategy and the nitty-gritty details, let's take a step back and understand the overall results of this brand. So right now I'm looking at the time period of August 24th to September 12th, which is essentially the time period when we have been handling this ad account. We started work with this brand on the 23rd of August. Overall, in this time period, we have been able to scale this brand to roughly $59,440. And if you do the math, it's roughly $2,800 in revenue. And this is all done with a ROAS of a 3.84. But the reality is the ROAS is actually a 4.18 and it's moving slowly towards a 5x. So how did we make it happen? If we look at the previous time period from August 1st to August 23rd, we can see that the conversion value according to Google was actually $74,000 and the ROAS was actually a 5.67x. If you were to look at these numbers, they might have seemed realistic. However, there was a much deeper issue going on when we began work with this brand, and the deeper issue can be seen by just doing one specific thing, clicking on segments, going to conversions, and then conversion action, because this will let us know all of the conversion tracking tags which were firing during this time. And if we rank it by the cost, we can actually see there's two different conversion actions during this time. The first one was the purchase tag, which was installed directly via the Process app on Shopify. The second one was the GA4 tag, also calculating conversions. Both of these conversion tracking tags were primary actions, meaning both of them were reporting data to the campaigns and firing for the campaigns, which is not a good thing, because if you see this number right here, the total sales amount, it's essentially the addition of both of these things, which it does not need to be added because only one tag should be firing. So the sales were either 55,000 or they were 18,000. Which one is more realistic and ideal? That's dependent on what the backend says. From my research and from our research, we understood that this was double tracking going on within the account all this time, because this account had been running for quite some time. If we look at the time period from when the campaigns were started, it was running from March of 2020. So all this time, this double conversion tracking was going on, and that made this total number of 2 million pretty inflated. The real value was actually nowhere close to the amount that it was reporting over here. So before we dive deeper into that side of things, let's now actually start talking about the overall products that the brand sells, the countries it targets, and just how it operates as a brand. So the brand is within the horse niche. It sells horse accessories like these ones right here, and these are some of its competitors that it has to deal with. And the main reason why this brand was actually not even able to drastically improve its results, get more consistency, is because the foundation was extremely weak. There were over 49,000 different products, and because there was just so much number of products, as you can see right here, there were bound to be a lot of products which just were neglected, which is why the product feed was essentially filled up with product disapprovals just like these ones. And right now, although we have started work on these disapprovals, there's still a long list of disapprovals to go through. But even if the product feed was ideal, the campaign strategies were right, the product images within this brand, when it came to the product feed, they were all different sizes. And what I mean by that is some of these product images were squares while the other ones were rectangular, and there was no real work done to differentiate one product image from its competitor. Also, things that were affecting it negatively were things like improper SEO techniques. The product titles were just very basic and very straightforward. There was nothing customized related to them, but also the Google Merchant Center issues and the biggest problem of all, the campaign strategy. Now, if we look within the last 30 days or just before we actually began work, what we will understand is with this brand, there was only one Performance Max campaign running. There was no other search campaigns running. There was nothing else, just this one major PMax campaign running, and that too serving those 49,000 SKUs, which was in no way gonna work. So we had to come in and we had to start work from the beginning with all of those things, but we decided to start work with the landing page. Now, to show you what kind of a landing page we did implement, I'm gonna go on over to this kind of competitor your website to give you a general idea of how a landing page is within this given niche. This is the kind of overall landing page experience we wanted to follow and mimic because this brand is one of the biggest competitors within this niche. Now, right at the very top, we can see, first of all, it's not a small brand. There's a lot of different collections. There's a lot of different things going on within the header. There's these little free shipping options right here, promos, 100% satisfaction guaranteed, these little satisfaction guaranteed text pieces right here to add a lot of authority for the brand. And this is something that's really needed within this brand for it to really scale to the next level, because it's a very specific niche, and the people in this niche, they're diehard fans of horses. They love their horses. They want the best quality products, but from the best quality brand as well. So that's what this brand did here, and that's essentially what we did as well. But if we scroll down now here, we can see a lot of unique things done here with these different variations that you can choose from just by clicking here. You get to choose the horse size as well. You get to choose the fit, and there's just so much different customization possible here, which makes brands within this niche really stand out. If we continue scrolling through, we can see there's more trust badges right here to add a lot of trust. There's a very simple and straightforward description on the left side with the horse image itself. Then there's upsells on the right side, which I thought was very unique within this brand and something that we wanted to implement for the brand we're handling as well. Because most e-commerce brands, what they do is they just right smack in the middle of the product page, jam all of these upsells and downsells up. The only thing that does is it distracts the customer from understanding more about this product which they came to purchase in the first place, and it can actually drive away users and customers. If we scroll down, we can see there's key benefits mentioned right here for that product, and it's just saying all of these things on the right as well with these images, talking about exactly what can best benefit the user's horse, which again is super important here. If we continue scrolling down, the description is fairly long, but it brings us to the actual product images and the product reviews from real customers, and that's just followed by the footer menu at the very end. Just a very basic yet a very professional and unique setup which works within this niche, and that's where we kind of got started because the conversion rates during this time were not the best. I mean, it says a 3.18 conversion rate, but during that time, due to those conversion tracking issues, this was actually half of what it said right here. Once all of the branding was done, once the landing page was very similar to this, then we really kind of took it to the next level with the ad strategizing, with getting things in order for the product feed. And after the 23rd, this is the kind of exact strategy which we implemented. So right off the bat, again, as I mentioned earlier, the one campaign approach was not gonna cut it for this brand. There were just too many different SKUs within this brand for it to work properly. So instead, what we did is we actually launched 5 different campaigns. The first one, which was running originally the Performance Max, we let it run. But the second campaign, we launched another Performance Max campaign with all of the products in there. But the thing that we did differently is we went into the settings section and we made this Performance Max only target new customers. So if we look right here, customer acquisition, we purposely chose this box and we chose the second circle, which is to only bid for new customers, because we knew that the original PMAX campaign running, that was targeting both old traffic, meaning hot and warm traffic, and cold traffic. And as a result, the ROAS was overall skewed, which we did not want. In addition to that, we launched the third PMAX campaign. This acted as the excluded products campaign. And as you can see, it's running only at a 2.16x ROAS. Not the best results, but much better than just completely throwing away the product. But this fourth campaign right here is actually a catch-all campaign in terms of standard shopping. And the way a catch-all campaign works is we put all of the products in there and run this campaign on a manual CPC with enhanced box check to the same audience, but with a very low bid. We need a campaign where it's gonna bid extremely low and only get the highest quality traffic, which is what the standard shopping campaign was doing, and as a result, it has the highest ROAS here. The final campaign here is just a Performance Max campaign with the main collection or the best sellers collection to separate it from those 49,000 other SKUs. So we wanted to go all in with Performance Max just because of the sheer fact that there were 49,000 different SKUs. Once that was done, our next goal was to just let these campaigns run and optimize. In this earlier time period, what we did is we basically let the campaign run, we monitored it, and we wanted to not touch it at all. So within this first week, the results did start to go up. Realistically, it went up all the way up to almost $4,000, and that's when we started to come in and further do optimizations. Now, because this is majority PMAX campaigns, our optimizations were limited to excluding any bad products, just moving it from this first campaign to the third one, which is the excluded products campaign, and just doing more optimizations in the back end. There was nothing else we could really do. All these things eventually started to get us decent results, and the ROAS, as we saw here, had increased in this time period to roughly a 4.24x. I mean, in the last 14 days, it's been running at a 4.08x ROAS. It has its ups and downs, but now because it is running above our break-even ROAS levels, we are starting the scaling phase here. And for scaling, this is where things will again be a bit different than what we normally do. One of the first things we will be doing is, of course, increasing the ad spend per day for majority of these campaigns which are performing well. As you can see, there's already a limited by budget message coming up. But in addition to that, to scale this account further, now we will be adding those search campaigns, those display, discovery, YouTube campaigns, because we have already established a shopping campaign approach, which is the main one in most cases for this brand. And now it's about launching those other things, keeping things fairly steady here as we progress onto Q4, and eventually increasing budgets and other things rapidly as needed. By the way, if you're doing $40,000 or more per month in revenue and you need just a little bit of extra help scaling your brand to the next level, go onto my website at yourmarketing.com and schedule a free call with me to see how we can potentially work together and make that happen. But go ahead and like and subscribe if this is one of the first times you're watching one of my videos, and check out this video right here on that one tip that could boost and scale your performance max campaigns to the next level.